So, week 4 of Survivor 44, we were picking up from Claire being voted out. She was the one who didn't even want to do the challenges and everything anyways, so Soka isn't really losing anything during the challenges because she wasn't really doing them anyways. So, farewell to Claire, and now we're moving on, and after the whole tribal council, everyone is kind of angry at Josh. That was kind of like the first initial thing. Everyone wants to blindside Josh. That was kind of like something they were all talking about. I had it written down here. It's like that was their kind of talking point right after tribal council. So not much going on there. But then we get onto this like first really big, strange, kind of interesting play for the episode. And it is, once again, Carolyn messing around with some stuff in her tribe. So she's in the Tika tribe, and everyone goes to the cage in that morning or whatever, the first person who went and saw it that day, and there's this like X in 2 sticks on the cage, and they're like, what does that mean? What is this thing? What is this thing here that's on our cage? And I don't understand what it means. Because it could be some sort of clues or some new thing hidden or whatnot. And it was set by Carolyn, and she's obviously the one who was able to get her idol out of the cage. And I don't know if she left a fake one in there or not, but she did place a fake one on the ground by another X. So she left her fake idol by the stump, like a random stump with another X made. So she made it look like there was a hidden idol on the ground, and this was like a clue to go find it. Like X marks the spot. Now, I don't know. I don't know if this is the same one. I'm assuming it's the same one that was in there as the fake idol. I don't know why she didn't just put it back. I guess I'm just looking at it in that perspective because, someone else has already done this move where they put it back into the cage, where Danny did. And he put it back into the cage, and then someone else found the key that he re-hid, and now they think they have an idol. I just think that would have been a much more fun thing to watch, but I suppose we've seen it already, and this is kind of something that Carolyn, I guess, wanted to do. But Sarah ended up finding Carolyn's fake idol, so she found the X on the ground. She found Carolyn's fake idol. Doesn't really mean much for Sarah, but she doesn't know that. But yeah, that was kind of like the first intro here into the beginning of the episode. Just another play with all these idols and these fake idols that they're putting in place here. Lots of idols. Lots and lots of idols thrown around this season, and we'll get more into that eventually, going into the big twist kind of in the center of the episode. During the reward challenge, so we actually get a reward challenge this episode, reward challenge, and then we get immunity later. Ratu and Soka end up winning the reward challenge, which is basically like tarps and stuff around their camp, and then Carolyn was noticeably like struggling trying to hit the things with the beanbags, and ultimately they ended up losing the reward, so they didn't get the reward, but that doesn't really matter overall. The big one is obviously the immunity challenge, but it is just something to note on that the reward challenge was run by Soka and Ratu. And after this challenge, Jeff made the point that we are going to send 3 people from each tribe, 1 person from each tribe, and we're going to go send them off to go and on a journey or something like that. Now, I'm assuming since in the same season we've done this before where we do the same exact reward thing where they go and choose their, risk their vote and all that stuff, but this time they actually changed it up. So the 3 people that went after the challenge were Josh, Carson, and Jamie. And they all went, it was basically the same up until they started reading the note on the table. So they all went, they read their notes on the table, they all split off in 3 separate paths, just like it was before. And then the first sentence is like, you all have an immunity idol, just a basic immunity idol. Except for one thing, but it is like a normal immunity idol, and you can use it whenever, and you basically just have one now. It's just given to them. But there is a little twist to it. Each one of them has an idol, but now that idol is expiring before the merge. So you have to use that idol before the merge, and it looks like that merge could happen soon. You're down to 3, and now 3 people left on one tribe at the end of the episode. And if they just never go to tribal, I guess they'll never need to use it. But their idols are only good up until before the merge, so they can't use it after the merge if they make it. So that is the one little twist on the immunity idol. But then there's another twist, and we've done tribe swaps before where we're not really merged yet, but we're going to mix everything up. We're going to move people around. We've done it with like 2 or 3 or whatever, and this time we're mixing up 3 people. So all three of them are going to go to a new tribe. So they have an immunity idol that expires before the merge, so that's nice for them. But now they have a new tribe, so they don't have their old tribe. They have to recreate relationships and alliances in their tribe. So Josh, he ends up going from Soka to Tika. Carson goes from Tika to Ratu, and Jamie goes from Ratu to Soka. So Josh going to Soka is the one that's going to play later for something in the episode. But that is the big swap. So I think that's the only really big swap we're probably going to get till the merge. So I don't know how to feel about swaps. This one's, I guess, a little more interesting. It's not like changing everything up, but it's like it's adding a whole new player into the mix and taking away another. So it changes it a little bit, but it's not like totally altered and now everyone has to get to know each other again, and maybe there's 2 people on the tribe left that knew each other. Yeah, it's not as drastic, but it is something a little different just to throw into the mix and see what they can do. So obviously Jamie is one of the ones who ended up going to a new tribe. She went from Ratu to Soka, and right away on Soka, Danny has gone through her bag because he wants to find out what kind of advantages and idols that she may have. And I wrote it down because I'm like, I don't like when people go. Now they do mention and bring it up. It's very clear at this point that it is allowed that players can go through other players' bags, which I don't know why. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like when people do it. If they could do it, great, whatever. Like, go right ahead. It's just not going to make me like you as a player. And I've liked some of the stuff that Danny has done, but it's just I don't like when people go through people's bags in this show. It's just me. Maybe maybe some people like it. I don't know. It's kind of the way of the game, I guess. But I'm not a big fan of it. Now, going into the actual immunity challenge, I saw it and they told us what they were gonna do, and they do the challenge, and the 2 tribes who end up winning the immunity challenge are Soka and Ratu. So Tika is the one going to go to tribal council, and I kind of skipped through the challenge itself because I'm noticing during these challenges I'm getting very kind of bored with the challenges. I've always been a fan of watching the challenges. They're kind of fun, and some of them have been fun. This one was really no different than they have been. It's not a surprising thing in this episode. But what I found myself saying to myself while I was watching this episode is, why are all these challenges like the same? They all feel the same at the end of the day. Like, I couldn't tell you what was going on in the challenges from like a week, like last week even, or the week before, because they all start to blend together for me. I can't remember a very memorable. There's not many memorable challenges as of late, at least to me. I would say the more interesting challenges, I guess, are the normal individual immunities later once they merge. But I guess specifically the tribe challenges, like they all seem very, very unexciting to me. I don't know if that's anything else anyone else is noticing, but they don't do things like, the weird eating, the weird bug eating stuff and all that stuff. It's weird, it's gross, but just different weird things like that I know they've done before, and they don't really do it now. And that is something I actually would like to see Survivor do going into the future, is kind of, I don't know, I guess in my eyes, get a little more creative with their challenges, because it's always them running up a big ladder, or pull, like in this picture here, like in the reward challenge, them just like pulling back, throwing beanbags up, doing a puzzle right at the end. Like, I get it, that's Survivor's formula, they've always kind of done that, but I would love to see some very different, that way every now and then we do get a very interesting looking challenge, but they've become kind of bland to me a little bit, and I hope we can get some cooler ones. I always want to see some cool challenges. They're always fun to watch, especially when you get a really good challenge. So hopefully we get some good ones later in the season, but I found this week to be kind of bland to me. I don't know, it is what it is. But Tika is the one going to tribal council. So Tika is a little different now, because we have Josh on there now, and Carson is no longer on the tribe. So we have a swapped player, and that swap is the thing that plays a big part into the vote here. It plays a significant part in the overall conversation going into tribal, and Josh is obviously the one on the outs in the tribe because he just got sent there. He's swapped with Carson. So now he is kind of the one on the outs. He tries to make an alliance with Carolyn and all that stuff. And going into tribal council, there's this like big thing between Carolyn and Yam Yam, or Jam Jam or whatever his name is. There's this big argument between those two, and they have an argument. They kind of get into a little beef before the tribal council, and then they get into some more beef later going into the actual tribal council itself. They yell at each other right before they vote, and it just kind of to me, it was like, okay, Carolyn or Yam Yam could be in danger. Because I kind of like Carolyn on this season, I was kind of thinking, oh, I don't really want her to go. I hope she maybe plays her idol, and I know she has. And I know that Josh is also still at risk because he's the new player. He is the newer player on the tribe, but he does have an idol. So ultimately, Josh does play his brand new idol that he has gotten, and he plays it, and it saves him. And ultimately, Sarah is the one who goes home. So Sarah was like a blindside vote, and she actually went home thinking that she had an idol in her pocket because she's the one that found Carolyn's ex thing that she did with her fake idol. So in her like little thing at the end where she was talking, she's like, I went home with an idol in my pocket and all that stuff. It's like, you didn't really, but I guess at the time she would have never known that. She probably found out while watching it. I'm surprised she didn't even play her idol though, because at least playing it would have at least, had that chance of maybe it being real and then you're safe for the night. But she ultimately did not play it, or at least try to play it, so she was definitely not safe. She felt pretty confident, I suppose, and it was kind of a blindside. Pretty basic episode. More weird Carolyn stuff in this episode. That is the one standout person on this season for sure. I can't tell if I really like her yet. I kind of do, and I kind of don't at some points. We'll see where it goes. But right now, she is kind of like the one standout person. Maybe Jam Jam is as well. He's kind of focused on a lot more. But right now, Carolyn is like that big focused on character of the past 3-4 weeks now. And that's really the only person I can really imagine. When I think of Survivor 44, that is the face of 44 right now. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where Carolyn's game goes, and I kind of hope she makes it to the merge, so at least if she gets voted out, she has some sort of say going forward, because I'm sure Survivor would like that too. She's a very interesting person, and she's good for the show for sure. It makes it fun to watch. But Sarah is the next one gone, and on to week 5.